Welcome to today's collective reading. This is TrinityGaiaOracle. What came through right away was that I was to pull some power animals for you guys. So the first power animal that came out was the fox, and it was face down, and it landed at the same time as the panther that was upright. So the fox and the panther are both very heavy in magic, magician energy. The fox was somewhat like the cunning. Things are not necessarily as they seem. And then there was a bridging energy that was called to be pulled, and that was brilliantly, it was the scarab. And there is a balancing of energies within yourself, your assertive and your receptive energies. What are you open to, and what are you willing to act towards to create? Your light and shadow side as well. You are in relationship with both. So you have healed yourself. There's a regeneration of this connection, this awareness. Also, speaking of cycles, a turning of the wheel. And with that magician energy, this is something that you have, I am this into being. You focused a lot more on your own contribution to this creation. The I am is not, I am focused on what someone else is doing and how that is impacting me. No, the I amness that you have been focused on is the awareness that the world will mirror back to you what you are creating within yourself. So I am creating X, Y, or Z allows for the rest of the world to begin to mirror that within themselves, but to own it authentically. To not have it be something that you pester or you remind, or, that's interesting, pester. This could be an energy outside of you that things are not necessarily as it seems. There may be projection that you experience even while you're continuing to focus on the I am, focused on what I am doing, giving to, acting towards, creating. There's a stronger connection here as you have elevated, you have up-leveled. You have elevated above this labyrinth. You have found your way to the center, and you have levitated over the maze. You're not having to go back through the same challenges. You have up-leveled. Now you're moving out of that into the new challenges, given that you now know what was at the heart of that labyrinth, which is a symbol for your journey, your I amness. Well, you're aware that there are other energies that are interacting with you through soul tribe, collective. Well, you're learning from them, they're learning from you. You're up-leveling, you're experiencing this more consciously through telepathy, through the transference of emotions. So if you're thinking a thought that doesn't really fit with what you're experiencing, likely it's someone else. Maybe you haven't met them yet or not, but there's a projection. There's that awareness you have of what they're going through. And being that you are focused on what you're creating, you know that to heal whatever this may be within you is to allow them to unlock that as well, to become aware of that as well. And by refocusing on you, it's a calling your awareness back to yourself to say, okay, I'm calling my energy back from this interaction so it's fully within my side of the road. Having strong boundaries is part of being in magician energy, because you know there's things that aren't necessarily as they seem. It requires you to know yourself thoroughly, which you have done, and you are regenerating, you're healing, you're learning. This is your new challenge, to consciously be aware and interact with all of this within yourself, which is highlighted where you have been possibly where you have been willing to compromise aspects of yourself in order to be accepted as part of the group, because you felt that being part of the group was the answer, belonging to a group of individuals that maybe outwardly seem to have your best interest in mind, but if you have to compromise parts of yourself. Wow, con keeps coming through. You notice that. Spirit has guided me to say it a couple of times. So there's definitely a deceptive energy here. If you have to trade an authentic part of yourself in order to belong to a group, they're taking your power. They're minimizing you. They're limiting you. And it's not about focusing on them and trying to fix them or change or alternate some variable within that social group. It's about what's going on inside of you that this is presenting to you in your physical reality. So how are you deceiving yourself? How are you not embracing your truth? And thus you're limiting your contribution to the world, to your reality. This is something that it's definitely implied you are moving out of as you are becoming aware of this. And that is why the regenerating energy is coming in. The panther landed upright and the fox landed face down. You're aware of these things now. You're uncovering more and more of how you have lied to yourself. You have conned yourself into settling in order to be accepted. You have attracted other individuals then that are not going to accept you and your authentic truth. So they have conned you as well. So in this magician energy, you know you're not alone. You know you're protected. There is definitely Raven present here too in the oracle that came through for this particular placement. And it's yet again choosing the I amness, the magic, but it's also, maybe it's not just the black raven. Maybe it's the white raven who's been wearing black in order to belong, but in truth is actually a white raven. I know that that's also a synchronicity with a story, the story of Crow originally being white, but then kind of kept warning a fellow power animal about hunters, and hunters got him and they kind of like charred his feathers so he became a black bird instead of a white bird. That may be a synchronicity for some as well, that you can choose to transform. Well, it's what motivates you. What are you seeking? What are you choosing to give to? That is the medicine, the awareness of your power, that you are an old soul, that you have ancient wisdom within you, and it's only asking you to be receptive to receiving it and choosing to act in that way, to give to that. You have been able to elevate above. Like that was what was at the center, the I amness. And yes, these energies, they may interact with you from time to time, but you know who you are. You're familiar to yourself, and they learn from you and you learn from them. It's not about elevating above them. It's about being connected, the all, yet also being aware of your unique individuality, but that you are connected to all. However you have arrived at this particular placement in your life at this time, you have done it in such a unique way that many are learning from you. And as they learn, it's a domino effect. Others learn from them because they learn in a unique way. They overcome in their unique way. That's why it's all. That's why you don't see yourself as above. You just happen to be one of the trailblazers, one of the first people, one of the first souls to solve it. But there are many different ways to arrive at the same destination. And that's why you're watched. That's why these individuals, these souls, these personalities from all over can touch base with you. And as you've elevated, their interaction with you is more conscious. You're more aware of it. When that happens, you know that there's somewhat of a higher self interaction that occurs. However, you are physically present in your time, so it's clearly coming through for you to refocus on your side of the street, to not get lost in the narrative of why they've contacted you and how fascinating it is. And oh my goodness, before you know it, you're no longer on your side of the street. You're trying to fix whatever they've reached out for. That is done the moment that you become aware of it. That has already occurred. What is for you to do is to be aware that you are creating your world, the I amness, to call back that power, because in that moment there's an interaction. Energy was exchanged, awareness, consciousness, but you're refocusing back into your physical reality, bringing in that you choose to create, to speak to that, to have some way of just like, maybe you stomp your feet, like whatever it is you need to do, you go outside and you stomp your feet. It's very clearly that grounding, spending time in nature is going to really help this process be a lot smoother for you, both mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It'll help. Gaia will assist in supporting you. She is our Earth Mother. She is receptive. She is nurturing. She is very present here for I am receptive to assist you in doing this, because as you do this, as you heal, I heal. As you become empowered and awaken, and others become empowered and awakened, I can heal, I can balance, I can be empowered and awakened and ascend. 2. Gaia is part of the collective consciousness, and she's present in all of us. With all the things that you are calling into being right now, all your creations, all your dreams, all your desires, an element of being playful, of, you can see the contrast, and it may very well look at times rather confrontational or competitive, but in truth, it is what you choose it to be. It can want you to give to the drama, to buy into a concept of fight or flight, that if you don't do this, this bad thing will happen. And the truth is you choose what it is. You're driving your ship. You are the magician. And if you have a sense of playfulness, that will invite laughter. And with laughter, any dense, stuck energy that is negative and too low vibe to really, really reach you fully, it's just there kind of around the edges, trying to like tempt you into getting, emotionally bought into it. The moment you giggle about it, the moment you find something funny, the moment you feel a little playful, you elevate beyond it. You're not giving to the negative, you're giving to the positive then. You are creating that. So whatever brings out a sense of lightheartedness in you and playfulness within you, create space for that in your day. Allow that to be something that you do as a medicine for you. It's a way of basically reprogramming your mind. If you've felt as though you've been stuck in this state of fight or flight, it's something that neuroplasticity, if you do this on a regular basis, you'll find that you're more easily going to go to the more positive, the more lighthearted, and be willing to find the funny and actually succeeding in doing so more often as a result. It's about creating those neural pathways, and you'll bring that energy in much faster with the manifestations that you have coming in, that you have been making space for in your life. In the receptive energy, what came through is, this is your fate. This is destined. This is soul contracted. There is so much major arcana that came through, and the top of the deck to the bottom of the deck. Wow. Just wow. I'm going to say that right now. First thing that came out was the Empress. Your light is shining. It is noticeable, and it is calling in abundance. But along with abundance, there are going to be those energies that are attracted because they want some of that light that you have for themselves. They may not understand how going within themselves, they'll find that light within themselves. So they may not always have the healthiest way of approaching you and approaching and interacting with your energy. That's why it's so important for you to really call your energy back, for you to stay grounded, to spend time in nature, and to really own where you are and not over-identify with whatever's coming through from them and their path. And know that the moment you're aware of that interaction, that the awareness of it consciously, it's already whatever they've needed. They've already had the help. They've already gotten that help. It is the epitome of being that fire that the moths are called to. They are receiving the medicine that they need. It does not detract from your light unless you choose to allow it to by giving to whatever they've projected onto you. That awareness of who you are, where the boundaries are in between what is their thoughts, their emotions, and your own thoughts, your own emotions, your familiarity with yourself, is that light. The boundary in the symbolism of the lantern is the lantern. The light itself is protected by that encasement, that guarding of it, so it doesn't get blown out by the wind easily. But that light, that is yours, that is unique, that is your I amness, that is your magician, your balance, your connection to source, knowing that you do co-create that. And the reason I spoke to the negative first of what is attracted is that it's actually healing when they interact with you and you reassert that boundary. That is exactly what is needed. They've already gotten the medicine. Your boundary is not to be violated. Your light is protected. You're calling your energy back to that, to you, to now. And that is noticed by, we have the Hanged Man here, and that is something that they are mirroring. And because they're mirroring, they have their own lantern. And that light is not, that fire is not being blown out. It's like you've installed the last pane in the lantern so that the wind can't get in, and they've noticed that. They're trying to journal outside and it's a little too shady, and that flame will get blown out, and they're noticing that they haven't had to get up in a while to relight that. So they've noticed, and they're curious. They're going to want to know how you did that. So the energies that are coming towards you are not necessarily going to be those that need healing. They may be energies, people, individuals, situations, where you will find yourself encountering other individuals that have been walking this path with you from day one, from before you incarnated. They're more central to your story. They're meant to be able to be more interactive with your energy, to be able to spend time with you for longer periods of time. Not just glancing or brief interactions like the majority of the moths that are attracted to your light, your flame. They're meant to be there walking beside you, with you. Also, major arcana. Now I had the Sun and Temperance come out together. This is about generations that will learn about this simply by interacting with you, by observing how you are in temperance energy. You are the peace in the middle of chaos. You are the eye of the storm. Like, you can be in the midst of it and it not mold, shape, break, fling you around. You're able to move with it, dance with it, and then you're in the center of it now. You've mastered the chaos of it. Now you get to enjoy being in the center of it. And a lot of what's in that storm, just like you would with a hurricane, it's attracted to your light and you're in the center. There are others in that center too that have found their way there. Now, the top of the deck, and this was very fascinating, you have worked through many different timelines very clearly. And it is with the intention of cultivating partnerships based on love in your life. That it's authentic, that it's real, that there is a language of truth and respect and honesty present within that. And the knowing, and this is one of the only two that came through that was not major arcana. Choosing to act towards the truth, towards the knowledge, being aware that that can hurt and harm, heal, harm, liberate. It's the need to actually be able to consciously spend that time in choosing which paths to give to and which not, when to share a truth, when not to know when it is time to be able to share that truth because it will heal instead of harm. Very present in the observation and the cultivation of the wisdom because you have traveled the different timelines. Very important to trust your intuition and only give to that of love. And because that's the lovers here, that part, your true north, your intuition, you know, and you trust it and you don't second guess it. If it seems to be nothing but illusionary and, a con, whether it's something you have conned yourself into or others have taken that step from you or that lead, that dynamic, that energy from you and conned you as well, it's observing and seeing it for what it is and then taking that one piece in the pick 'em up sticks, right? Or that jigsaw puzzle. Oh, Jenga. That's where we're going. Jenga. Taking that one piece and just moving that, and then somehow it balances, but it doesn't fall over. Like being very precise in what you do choose to adjust. Because you've had that awareness, because your intuition has already done that part for you. So trust it when it tells you X, Y, or Z. You may not know why you need to turn left here at this intersection, but okay, I guess we're going on an experience here, Spirit. And at the bottom, there is this radical transformation, reverting back to your original form, your original intention, owning your authentic self, affirming the soul contract of what you came here for. You know who you are more now than you have before owning this I amness. Now you get to experience what you choose to give to assertively with the King of Wands in the upright. What do you choose to create? Owning that magician energy within you. Being in your original state allows you to really know what you want. And the assertive energy, the actions to give to more the masculine side of you, or that you interact with outside of you, what came through was you're at the state of 8 of Pentacles, but you've been resisting, or this energy outside of you that is more masculine in nature has been reluctant to offer themselves. They are the pentacle, and they've been holding on to that pentacle. I mean, they have a couple of pentacles around them, but like the real pentacle is them. They've been working through healing that because they feel they are not enough, they are unworthy. Like any kind of wounding around this, any kind of shadow work to be done with that, because you, the offering of yourself, is the greatest gift that you can give to anything you choose to create. To be fully, authentically present is the greatest gift that you can give anything you choose to manifest. Now these smaller pentacles, because this is the 4 of Pentacles here in the reverse. What Spirit is drawing me to share is that these other pentacles are past hurts, past wisdoms gained from other interactions, and they're much, much smaller, and they're not of equal. They did not contribute on equal footing, and it's possible because that pentacle, that you, that individual outside of you that this may be resonating for, to not fully give of themselves. It's not a put down. What it is it's possible because you can only give of the same level that which you are also receiving. So these other dynamics, these other situations, they weren't being authentically present either. They weren't fully offering themselves. Yet again, it's not a put down. They were not meant to. They were not. These are like karmic situations, but that doesn't mean they're bad. You could learn good things from this, but regardless, you gave of yourself to them, or an individual outside of you did, and that has caused a desire to not hurt. Because the empathic and compassionate nature that exists within you exists within those around you that you give to in this way. In order to move to a 9 of Pentacles, you have to be willing to give yourself and see if this individual, this dynamic, this situation, this project can reciprocate at the same level of which you can contribute. For some of you, it is very clear that this is present. This reluctance to do so is present because there's an awareness that this is a pentacle that can give the same level, that can give all. The song All of Me Loves All of You. That level of contribution. So that's intimidating. That's scary. That's a lot. That's why healing and doing shadow work and everything that you've done to get to this point has been so imperative, because you have to be fully acquainted with you in order to contribute fully. So this is basically upgraded to a 9 of Pentacles. Now, the next that came through was you have a King of Wands here in the upright. You have a masculine, assertive energy within you. You know what you want. And this is going to be mirrored back to you. There is an energy outside of you that is very aware and willing to act towards what they want, because the wheel has turned. This is fated. This is major arcana, Wheel of Fortune upright. No longer is this something that is, oh, I don't know what to give to you. I'm not sure. It's one of two paths. It's no longer stuck in that state. The wheel has turned. And with the Wheel of Fortune upright, it is in your favor. It is to abundance. It is to a future that you choose to create, that you have been gifting to, that you've been focused on, that you've been calling in with all of your being. And this has led to this awareness that there is strength. And something that's very awesome about this deck is the form in the strength card is a feminine form. It's a tree. It's a connecting that above to that below, being that hourglass, being in the upright. It's feminine. It's, you have to be in a state of receptivity in order to have this level of connection. The strength to be able to be that conduit that connects that above to that below. As above, so below. It mirrors. To be that conduit is to allow change to occur in that above as well as that below. With the Six of Pentacles here, this is you and the universe, you and source, you and that you're creating outside of you. You're able to equally give and receive. This is the first time for this collective that I've been reading for that this particular card has come out in the upright. Equally giving and receiving. Up until now, this collective, it has been, there's still more healing to be done. There's still more healing to be done. There's still parts of you that you haven't shed light on yet, that you haven't fully understood, to be able to choose how you want it to be. You have done that work. You're able to be equally receptive as well as giving. That is why this King of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune has turned. Because you have done this. You've locked this in. You've grounded it into your reality. And now it's just about adjusting how you choose to view the world. You want to spin a little bit this way, zoom out, zoom in. Getting an understanding of how to see the world from this perspective. It's learning. This is, you've elevated, you've leveled up above the labyrinth. Well, now how do you do this level? What is this level about? And having a sense of playfulness is very important, because just as in the receptive energy, we have the Hangman here. And the Hangman sees the Two of Cups from his perspective in the upright. The Two of Cups is the minor arcana of the Lovers and the world. This is creating your world. You are the magician. You are the I am. And as you focus on you and what you choose to be and what you choose to bring into your world, all of this falls into place. The moment you start focusing on someone else, something else outside of you, and that you have to do this or else, you're no longer in magician energy. You're giving your power away. You're giving your magician card to someone else, to something else. And once you know this, you can't unknow this. So own this power and know that all that you choose to give to will begin to be realized in your reality. I'm very excited for you guys. And wherever you encounter this reading on your path, know that this is possible. If you choose this timeline, this is possible. If you're willing to accept the invitation to go within. I would like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for co-creating this beautiful reading that allows others to know as they encounter it that they are not alone and can add only more momentum to the world that we are desiring to co-create. Thank you. The divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste.